Sir Nedzana P.M. is responding questions based on his authorship journey and more about his new released book, Things and Time. Nedzana P.M. is the renowned leadership seminary speaker. His messages mostly revolves around leadership teachings, empowering, coaching people to discover their unique features, which ultimately enhance their everyday life. Let us listen to the questions and answers.
Things and Time is out now, and I have made some series of interviews concerning my book called Things and Time, and most of the people seem to be interested on getting a PDF copy. Some they are looking for the audiobook, and some they are looking for the video teachings concerning Things and Time. So it is a very good material, too much refreshing for anyone who wish to partake some relevant stuff concerning leadership. Things and Time up to so far is out, and I can really tell people that as the book now is released, each and everyone who is looking for the copy of Things and Time, you can personally contact me on 071-134-8004. This is the motivational book, more especially for those who want to discover what are they looking for in this journey we call life, because we are not just living, but we are living in terms of responding the questions which life can ask us, and some of these questions which we shall be asked by nature is the question seems like what am I living for? Why am I alive? What was the purpose for me to be created and be found living on earth? So I think these are some of the questions we have to ask ourselves as people. And the moment when we begin to reply the very same kind of questions, in other words, we shall be replying the purpose of why we are brought to life. So one of the significant purpose why we should have to respond to this kind of questions is because as people, what we must know is that even though we can refrain to ask ourselves the very same kind of questions, you must know that at each and every day when you wake up, you are answering a certain question. Is either a question which you are asked by nature negatively. So if nature is asking you a negative question, you will therefore be bound to respond negatively also. That is the reason we does have a lot of people who are portraying negative attitude always on time, and these things does not give us future. There is nowhere this kind of thing is taking us. But what I normally urge to advise people is that let us come to ourselves and realign our thinking. Therefore, we begin to think on where and how are we going to improve ourselves somewhere, somehow? Because nature is busy asking questions and we are replying negatively. So if you want to partake positive thinking, no one who can come and tell you that you should have to think positively. What you must do, positive thinking is that which you build by yourself. At first, you must check the kind of people who have surrounded you, the kind of places you usually go, the kind of company you are hanging up with. So, by means of checking that, you will see that will be responding the nature. Trying to respond to the question of why I am an author. Sometimes I can say that it's a very hard question to answer. More especially to myself, because it's not only biblical literatures which I write, but I also write drama, I write novels, I also write short stories. So actually speaking, maybe to respond directly why I am an author is because in most cases, to each and everything that I wrote is all about my life experiences. As an individual, I have encountered a lot of things, of which some of my personal life experiences I would like to share them with people worldwide. That's what I can reply concerning why am I an author. So I have become an author as easily as willing to share my personal life experiences with some other people. One thing that I have discovered about life, we are not coming across the very same kind of things as people. You alone as an individual, you have encountered some certain things of which if you can share with some other people, for they can gain a lot of experience through what you have been through. And what I have been through as an individual, if I can personally share my experience with you, is then that you will be learning something out of it. So what I can really say at the moment is that some people, when they encounter good things, including the bad things, let me say, each and everyone who does have an experience concerning whatever in life, some they decide to share it with their friends in terms of talking to them, advising them. Some they decide to act about it. Some they decide to sing about it. Some they decide to write about it. So myself, I got a very simple way which will simplify myself and in terms of sharing what is in me. So the only thing I discovered is that if I can put it down in terms of writing, and some of the information I take it out in terms of drama, some I take it out in terms of poetry, some I take it out in the form of writing a short story. And but when it comes to leadership, it's a different story, because in leadership I don't write about my personal life experience, but some of the things which I teach, yes, of course, I cannot be in contrary on saying that I include also my personal life experience. But some of the things is that which I see other people doing, although I haven't encountered it by myself. Somewhere I write about my knowledge. Sometimes I write about what I got it from other people, not what I have been through, but about what I have seen. Maybe when I'm reading the book of another author, if I can find the very same book interesting, I can simply just take a certain part of the very same author in quote. Therefore, I put it inside my book. Therefore, beneath I write that the name of the very same person whom I have taken a quote from. So, in terms of doing that, is to dulcify my book so that it can be interesting to those who will be reading it outside. So that's what I can say in terms of replying why am I an author, why I write drama, why I write short story, why I write poetry, why I write leadership or biblical literatures. So one other last thing which I can mention is that every time when I preach, I simply just record my messages, and after when I've done recording those messages, I have time to replay those messages while I'm writing them down. Therefore, I make a book out of this very same message which I taught. In other words, all messages which I have taught, some of them, some of those messages, you can find a book pertained or a chapter inside of my book pertained to the message which I have once taught. So those who are always following my preachings or my teachings, even those who are reading my books, they can tell you that what I was reading about is the very same thing which I have heard you preaching one day. So it means what I usually preach about, you can also find it even inside my book. So that's how I do my stuff. So in a nutshell, that's why I have become an author, and I hope I have answered your question very well. Yeah, what I can edify based on leadership is that leadership is not all about teaching. Actually, you cannot teach people how to lead, because leadership is all about how are you living with other people. It's not all about teaching them what to do, because what I have learned about people and leadership itself, people normally don't do what you tell them to do. They frequently do what you are doing. Sometimes you can tell them to do things, and you will automatically find them not doing exactly what you have told them to do, and you find that they are doing what you are doing. Just for an example, if you can say that don't steal, because when it comes to stealing, you cannot steal while people are watching. I, as an individual, I might find myself stealing at night, and I tell people that they must not steal. The very same people whom I'm telling them that they must not steal, they can steal, and it will be my surprise one day if I can hear the rumor saying that someone whom I was motivating was found with some stolen goods. So it will be the point of my surprise that how that person is now found with some stolen goods, whereas I have told the very same person that don't steal. The issue is not about talking, but the issue is all about leading by doing. So that is the reason they say that leadership is you must lead by example. In other words, you must live what you are preaching. People normally take into consideration what you do than what you tell them to do. Because when you tell them to do things while you are not doing it, they cannot do it. So that's what I can say. Leadership, you don't lead people by telling them what to do, but you lead them by living what you do. In other words, leadership is integrity. Integrity means the matching of your words and action. It means that what you do must correlate with what you say. So once you do that, that is leadership. You lead by your life. You lead by doing, not by talking. Yeah, no person who is perfect in life. All people are running toward perfection. I only believe that each and everything which I can say that it is perfect is that which is made by God. But anything that has been made by man, there is nothing which I can call it perfect. Because since we are the visitors in this earth, nothing is for permanent. The only permanent thing is that which has been created by God for permanent purpose, just like gases. But nothing which is given the gift of life which is permanent. That is the reason even animals can die, people can die. So nothing is permanent, and no one is perfect, more especially who is alive. We are all running towards perfection. But the only thing that makes us to be positive enough is when we welcome our weakness and tend to improve where we have seemed to conduct fallacy. But unless otherwise we grow up to that level, we cannot even ever improve anything upon our lives. So that's what I am trying to encourage people. But let us try to improve where we are wrong. Is then that we can do what is pleasing. That's what I can say. And there is something which I simply just want to share concerning authorship. Authorship is something that is in you. It's not something that you can copy from someone else, because you cannot write what is not in your heart. Whatever you write about, it is in your heart, and it is pushing you to take it out in terms of writing, in terms of reciting, or doing whatever kind. But as long as what is inside you has been taken out. As I have mentioned previously, that we usually take things out in many ways. Some we take our life experiences out in terms of writing, poetry, drama, novels, short stories, act movies, and whatever. In actually speaking, all media platforms is created in terms of trying to take what is in you out, because media industry is art itself. That's what I can say. So you do not have to hide what is inside you. Take it out, because if you do not take it out, you will die with it. So I think you should have to die empty, because what you have is not for you, but is for us, and what I have is for you. So let us participate. Yes, I have been into many counseling groups. Elite Information Channel is one of them. Elite Mentoring Program is one of them, and Elite Christian Ministries is one of them. And the only thing that I have learned through those things, when we are solving problems sometimes, it's good to solve a problem I'm not saying that those who have been solving into those groups are wrong, but what I can really want to share with people is that it is good to solve a problem, in fact not giving people a command that they must do this and that. Because if you are doing counseling, in other words, you must seek to find out or you must overthrow full opinion to someone whom you are counseling, so that the very same person can come out with his own or with their own solution based on what you are counseling. Because what I have learned in life is that no person who is encountering a problem without having a solution. But to be a mediator, sometimes it is very much advisable. That is the reason, if you can ask people who are having problems, they can absolutely tell you that I thought about this and that. No person, a human being is created somehow by God in such a way that even though a person can encounter a problem or a challenge, the very same person at last will tell you that I have arrived at this kind of decision making. In other words, each and every person has been given a liberty to decide, and a counselor is wanted, more especially in terms of aiding some other point of views based on the decision which someone who is having a problem is about to do. So if I'm about to act wrongly, that's where that's where a mediator is wanted in order to quell the situation or to appease the situation, in terms of providing a solution where necessary. But if you can try to bring the solution at each and everything, that's where you will find a person arriving at the stage of taking a decision. And if the very same person can be asked at the end of the day, the very same person will reply by saying that I have taken this decision because I have been told by Nedzana to do this and that. And if you can happen to be the victim of such, you are going to be blamed by a lot of people. So it is better to overthrow a person, a rope, in order to hang himself or herself. Once more, trying to create your own security. Because if you are not creating your own security while you are counseling a person, you will end up becoming a victim of the very same kind of situation. That is the reason a mediator is there, in order to seek the decision which the victim is about to take. Therefore, you add your words, more especially if the very same victim is deciding to take a harmful decision. So you must stand against a harmful decision in order to come up with a polite decision making. That's what I can call a genuine counseling. Yes, when it comes to the book which I have soon completed to write, called The Things and Time, I would like to tell all people that now the book is out, Things and Time. Yeah, it does have a lot of chapters talking about seasons and time, living a visionary life, self-discipline, talking about decision making. And it is not for the first time where I wrote more about decision making. If you still remember, there is another book which I call it Power of Positive Thinking. I took people through what we call decision making. So it is very much important for me to say that when it comes to the issue of decision making, it cannot be a topic which I can fit it on one book, because each and every time when I continue doing my research and studies, I have discovered a lot of things based on decision making. So I hope and believe that even at some other books which I will write in the future, I will therefore write more about decision making. Although I have included the very same chapter on the current book, which I call it Things and Time. Even in the future, I am ready to write more about decision making, because I also feel even now when I'm talking that I can edify a lot of things concerning the issue of decision making, because decision making makes up our mind. So expect a lot concerning decision making. I cannot go further about that, but some other topics or other chapters which are there inside my book, I have touched an area of where I speak about rising from the fallen trap, crossroads, topics like a lot of things there. So get yourself a copy. You will learn a lot, or you will find a lot of things within it. I was responding the lot of questions based on leadership, and the majority of people seem to misunderstand some of the things I have taught about. It does not go by the number on how many people you are leading. I understand that there is a certain statement which was raised by John C. Maxwell that says that if you say that you are a leader whereby there is no one who is following you, you are simply just taking a walk. Yes, of course, you cannot say that you are a leader whereby at the end no one following. But I would like to say something which concerns the question of leadership. What I know is that leadership is not all about a feeling where you can say that now I am leading people. Actually speaking, you might be fine leading whereas you do not know that you are leading, because since leadership is all about doing, leadership is not in speech, but leadership is in action. You lead by what you do. Ya ndiko zwi pfesesa nga maanḓa. Huna fhungo ḽine nda khou nyaga u ḽi pfukisa fhanoni. Rono gudisiwa zwithu zwinzhi nga maanḓa. Vha tou humbula ri tshi ḓa kha sia heḽinoni ḽa vhurangaphanḓa. Ro vhuya ra vha pfha na vho John C. Maxwell vha tshi khou ṱahisa fhungo ḽa uri arali wa ri u murangaphanḓa, ha vha uri kha u ranga ha u phanḓa a hu na vhathu vhane vha khou sala murahu kana vhane vha khou tevhela kha tshine wa ri u khou tshi ranga phanḓa. U vha u si murangaphanḓa mara u vha u khou tou ḓidzhiela lwendo. Ndi zwiḽa zwo pfhi nga tshikhuwa vha ri if you say that you are a leader whereas there is no person who is following you, you are just taking a walk. Zwe nda guda ndi zwa uri a thi khou hanedza statement hetsho, u khou ima badi natsho ngori vhurangaphanḓa zwi yana ngauri u khou rangaphanḓa gai. Ri tshi amba nga vhurangaphanḓa kanzhi a ri pfhesesa uri vhathu vhanzhi vha si pfha u nga ri musi ri tshi khou amba nga dzi thero dzi kwamanaho nga maanḓa na vhurangaphanḓa, ri vha ri khou ambela nga maanḓa kerekeni, and a si kerekeni fhedzi hune vhurangaphanḓa muthu ha vhonala hone. Hu na fhethu hunzhi hune vhurangaphanḓa muthu vhu ya vhonala. Sa tsumbo, muḓini hune muthu a vha a khou bva hone u vha a fhasi ha vhurangaphanḓa o imaho ngauri. Ri tshi lavhelesa kerekeni hune ra ḓiwana ri khou dzhena hone, nahone hu na vhurangaphanḓa ho imaho ngauri. Ri tshi lavhelesa mishumoni hune ra vha ri khou shuma hone, nahone hu na vhurangaphanḓa. So a hu na department na nthihi i si na vhurangaphanḓa nga ngomu khayo. Mara ende vhurangaphanḓa ha hafhu fhethu he nda hu amba hoṱhe a hu fani. Nga nḓila ine ha rangiwa ngayo vhathu phanḓa kerekeni a zwi fana musi na zwine zwa itea musi hu mahayani, na nga nḓila ine ha rangiwa ngayo vhathu phanḓa mishumoni a zwi fani na kerekeni. So huṅwe na huṅwe hu na vharangaphanḓa. Zwino vhathu vhanzhi vhane vha agwiwa nga hetshi statement tsho ḓaho na John C. Maxwell ndi ngauri vhathu a vha zwi pfhesesi zwori John C. Maxwell a tshi vhuya a raisa statement tsho no nga hetshi, mukala ri khou sala ri si tsha pfhesesa uri vha vha tshi khou zwi ambela kha sia ḽifhio. Muthu muṅwe a nga hanedza ri a si zwone, muṅwe a nga ri ndi zwone. Zwino ane a ri a si zwone kha thome a vhe na tsenguluso yo senguluso uri mukala vha tshi ri if you say that you are a leader whereas no one following you, you are just taking war. Kha ri sedze uri vha khou zwi amba kha site ifhio ya vhutshilo. Ngori hetshi statement a tshi shumi hoṱhe, hu na hune a tshi shumi mara hu na hune tshi a shuma. Ngori leadership i thoma u vhonala musi hu na vhathu vhavhili uya nṱha. Ndi ngazwo huṅwe Bivhili yo ri two are better than one, huṅwe ya ri hune ha vha na vhavhili kana vhararu yo thoma kha vhavhili ya ri na nṋe ndi ḓo vha ndi hone. Zwino leadership i thoma u vhonalesa nga maanḓa fhethu hune ha vha na vhathu vhavhili u ya phanḓa. Ndi hone hune leadership ra thoma i vhona hone. So mara kha iwe muṋe sa muthu as an individual ri vha ri sa khou vhona leadership. Tshine ra vha ri khou vhonesa nga maanḓa tshine ri vha ri khou tou vhona fhungo ḽa management, uri management yau i hani nga heneyo nḓila. Sokou pfhesesa uri ndo ḽi vhea zwavhuḓi.